Welcome to Hustle Meets Harmony, where we juggle business, family, and everything in between. I'm Raina.
And I'm Taryn, two working moms chasing dreams, helping families, and keeping life in balance.
Join us for real stories, honest insights, and plenty of laughs as we figure it all out together.
This is Hustle Meets Harmony. All right, so today we're here with Lauren Zambelli-Davis, and we have so much to talk about, so we're just going to jump right in. All right, Lauren, do you actually think that women can have it all?
So, so you can have it all, and I think a lot of people. I think the core belief as I don't know, population or society or America tells you that if you want to be a mom, you can't also be a successful business owner. You can't do school drop off and grow a business. I feel like it's more negative than positive when you talk to people or share your experiences. But I am a true believer that it is possible to have it all. Maybe not all in the same day, but it is possible. I think a lot of it is balance. Maybe one day I'm a great mom, and maybe one day I'm a great business owner. It's rare that I'm great, absolutely amazing and perfect at both every single day, but I do think it's possible. And I think it's amazing. I get to watch my kids kind of come along for the ride. They're cleaning up with me at park, they're listening to mortgage calls. They're little and they already know, like, mommy's on a work call, we have to wait to ask her questions, and I think that it's instilling really good work ethic in them, and I think it's special. It's hard, but I do think it's possible.
Yeah. And I feel like that's why, instead of our podcast being talking about balance, we talked more about harmony, because balance assumes everything's always the same. We're
Yeah,
always doing, but some days, to your point, I'm rocking it at work and maybe not so much at home and vice versa. So,
yeah.
And I always find the kids are so flexible and adaptable when they see mom doing all these things all the time, and they really like it. My kids have been learning about business ever since they were little. They've been learning about finance ever since they were little, and about managing a home life and getting groceries and doing laundry and everything that you can do. So 100%, I think that as long as you find harmony in what you're doing, it works out fine. And kids are so adaptable, and they're like little sponges, and they pick up everything that you're putting out there in the world, which is really fantastic. My kids are a little bit older now. I have high schoolers, and it's really cool to see that they're real people, and to hear their thoughts and the reflections that they have. I love that. So yes, I agree. Women can have it all. There's no reason why we should stop ourselves. What does having it all mean to you?
I think, first and foremost, I think over the years I've realized that having it all really starts with health. Taking care of yourself, your mind, your body. Some things with your health are unfortunately unavoidable, but I think just trying to not be a stress, tension ball is, it's not good for you. So I've learned that health really does come first, which is hard for me because that's one of the things that I never really prioritized until, you have life experiences and you're like, wait, this is actually the most important. So having it all to me is health, happiness, family. And, I think what the work part of it that comes with it is I'm not able to do these beautiful things with my family unless I'm successful at work. So it kind of all, ties together. Having it all is for me really about life experiences with my family and the people I love most. But it just so happens that being able to do those things is only afforded by having a successful career or doing well at my business. And I've learned that, one can't come without the other. So both are just so important to me. Absolutely. But I also think good relationships, a good relationship with my husband, my sister, my mom, and really focusing, I don't know, a lot of my life is really focused around family. I work with my family. So I spend time with my family every single day. And besides personally, we literally eat dinner together every night. It's just so for me, I would say having it all is really just my relationships and my family.
I like that you talked about health, because I know when my kids were little, running was my escape. And in the beginning I would put them in the stroller and run with them. And after a while, my husband's like, you can leave them home with me and you can just go run. And you do not have to feel guilty, because we know when you come home, you're so much more relaxed and able to handle what gets thrown at
Yes.
you. So like I feel like my kids have kind of seen that from a young age. Like we always did the stroller runs, but I did plenty of runs like where they would stay home and that was fine. So
Yeah, but it's like until your husband said that, you
right.
probably weren't even thinking like, oh, I could leave them
Oh,
home and do this myself. Exactly.
no.
And then
Yeah.
you do it and you're like, this is amazing. It's funny because there's a workout group that's local and they work out with the kids. And I went to a few and I was just like, this is great. Like literally the most amazing thing in the world if you're a mom that you can't get to the gym because you have kids and whatever else. But for some reason, I can't enjoy it. Like I feel like my
Right.
kids are running around. It doesn't feel like self-care to me. It doesn't feel good to me. Like I just feel like anxious the whole time.
Yeah.
So I've learned that like going to the gym and like dropping them off at like the little gym daycare or like taking those like few moments to myself really does make a difference. Or like penciling in, like I said, like you said, when your husband can watch the kids. But I get it. It's like it's hard sometimes.
It is. And for people who don't know you yet, give us the quick version of who you are and all the different hats you wear.
Yeah. So first and foremost, I'm a mom, like we talked about. I have 3 little ones, 2 boys, 4 and 3, and then I have a 9-month-old daughter. I have the most incredible husband, so I really lucked out in that department. And he's a wonderful dad, so that's been like really, really special to watch. Oh. I am super close to my family. I'm a loan officer at Clifco Mortgage, and I work on a team with my mom and my sister. All 3 of us are loan officers. My dad's a home inspector, so it's like truly the family business. Yeah. And then on top of being a loan officer, I also run the largest moms group on Long Island called Mamas and Minis on Long Island. And then I've recently opened a second branch of Clifco Mortgage and an event space downstairs. It's a very unique concept and property with my sister. And that's called the Place on Park. So on the top floor is our mortgage office, our second mortgage office in Bayshore. Our first is in Uniondale. And then downstairs we host events and community gatherings and really any type of thing you think of, we've hosted downstairs. So it's been really special and that just opened.
Oh, that's fantastic. Congratulations. I love the hustle. I love the hustle. And Taryn and I also, we're in family businesses too. So I work with my mom and dad in our insurance agency. And then Taryn, you want to talk a little bit about your background?
Yeah, and I worked with my brother for 15 years, and the agency my dad started back in the 60s. So it's been in my family for a long time. But like all those things you just said, that's what just fascinates me because I think people see you and probably assume it's all coming easy, it's all coming natural, she's just killing it. But like I read this quote recently that says women are drowning quietly while pretending they're managing beautifully. And that really spoke to me because I think outwardly we look like ducks, right? We're like floating across a pond, all like serene, but underneath we're like doing this, but that's not what everybody sees. So
no, it's true, especially with social media. I feel like social media is unfortunately probably the biggest problem with that aspect of things. Is like everyone only posts their highlight reel. I try to do a good job, like even if the picture is beautiful, usually in the caption we'll say like this photo shoot was a shit show. You know, I try to be as authentic as I can, but obviously it's much more exciting or enticing to post your highlight reel or, you know, the positives in your life than coming on and being like, this is really hard, you know, this is really hard. I cried this morning because of this, or, you know what I mean? So I do try to do my best, but that resonates with me too. I feel like people, you know, once you reach a certain level of success too, you'll start to realize that people are actually some people are not very kind, or they're not happy for you, or it just starts to stir up, like, I guess, some emotions for people. And, you know, a lot of things people will say, even if they don't like try to be mean, or they'll say like, oh, like, you're so lucky. And for some reason that like really bothers me because I want to be like, do you know like what goes on at 11 o'clock at night when I'm either like cleaning floors at park or, you know, answering emails, or the time, like the sacrifice it takes to do these things, you know, but people, they like, you know, sometimes people just don't get it. And I understand, but that is a frustrating comment. So
I was telling Raina the other day. Yeah, like when I went in to open the checking account when I bought the business 5 years ago, the lady behind the bank or at the bank I was working with goes, "Oh, you're buying the agency. That must be nice."
Must be nice. Yeah.
I was like, and Raina's like, "What did you say?" I'm like, I don't know. I froze." She's like, "You should have said, 'Well, yes, it is nice. Thank you. Thank you.'"
Sometimes, like, so I used to get like so jammed up when people would say things just like that. I would just like freeze. I wouldn't know how to handle it. And then my sister actually saw a TikTok video recently that the person was like addressing that exact emotion. And she said that her go-to response is, well, that's an interesting thing to say to someone. And because it's like not very confrontational, but it lets them
Right.
know that their comment was like really like out of line or like inappropriate. And
Right.
so I've been using that a lot. And now that I'm prepared with the comment, it like slips off the tongue easier. So I'm like, every time someone says something like really messed up, I'm like, well, that's an interesting thing to say to someone.
But what do people say? Like, do they get like
They're like
completely off
stunned
guard?
that you even responded
Yes.
because people don't expect the response. And I
Right.
just feel like some people deserve them. Like if you're gonna say something messed up, you deserve a response. And at least that's not like, it's not too bad, but it lets you know like
it's not too bad. It's decent. I'm always like, this is what my dad told me. He's like, just agree with them because it's not worth arguing. Say yes, it absolutely is, and then follow up with your point. Yes, it absolutely is. And I'm taking out a huge loan to buy this business to make sure that I can, and put all this time and effort into it. And I'm very lucky that I have the opportunity to get this loan.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
People don't realize what it takes to do things.
No, they don't. All the hard work and effort and studying to get licenses and whatever education you have to make yourself the best that you can be, putting yourself out there, working late at night, working early in the morning, trying to do, family things in the middle of the day and running around. And they don't see that. We're not clocking in and out every day.
They're like, I quit my 9 to 5 so I can work 24/7. That's like,
I love that. I see that all the time. But the 24/7's on your own time, right? Like that's on my schedule. But so Raina and I were talking about outsourcing. And I feel like that's something that a lot of women don't want to admit to because they feel like they want to have this aura of like doing it all. So like I know Raina, we were talking about this earlier today. Like, are there things that you're doing like to get help?
So yeah, and it's actually something I'm not ashamed to tell people. And the reason people are so ashamed to tell people is because people are mean. Like I posted what I was looking for in terms of like help or the things I was outsourcing, and I'll go through what I do outsource. And I've received like hate messages, like you're a disgusting excuse of a wife and mother, or like like all these crazy things. Yeah. So why people don't feel comfortable sharing that they outsource certain things. But yeah, we got a good laugh out of some of the messages we got. So the most important thing to me is my client, like, my clients at work. Like I want to handle conversations at work with my clients. So that's really important. I don't outsource that. Same thing with my kids. My most important thing at home is my kids, and I don't want to outsource that either. So I always take a look at like, what's the most important thing for me? And like, what do I care most about at home? And at work, what do I make the most money doing? And what do I care about most? Okay. And that's clients. So like, what's my, my hourly wage? And then like, what tasks am I doing that aren't that hourly wage? And those are the things I try to outsource. At home, I have someone that comes every single night and she straightens my house. And I know that sounds insane to people, because people have told me that sounds insane, but it actually has changed my life and my marriage. It's made me a better mother. I used to come home and like, my husband's home during the day with the kids. He works at night. So the house, he's the most amazing father ever, but he's not a woman. So like things are messy. And I could tell like what they ate for breakfast and lunch. And I could just tell like what toys they play with. Everything was everywhere. And there's 3 of them, like, no faulting him, but it's tough. Mm-hmm. So it was hard because he goes to work as I walk in the door. So then it's like, I have all 3 kids by myself, but I also have this huge mess to take care of every night. And it was making me so irritable and just anxious and not the best version of myself as a wife or a mom. And I was like, I am so sick of arguing with my husband about this. What can we do differently? So I was just like, I could just find someone to do the things I don't want to do, the things that are upsetting me. I'll just find someone to do those things. And she comes every night and she's a godsend. She goes into every room in the house, puts everything away that, where it belongs. She does our dishes, our laundry. She vacuums everywhere. She washes the floors. She unpacks the kids' lunch boxes and repacks them. She fills up the boys' like bedtime water bottles, the humidifiers, like just the things that you don't realize like actually take a lot of time when you're like, they're little tasks, but when you add them up, it's like, an hour of stuff. So now when I get home, it's like very peaceful. It's clean. And like, I get to enjoy my kids. Like we're reading books and doing bath time instead of me worrying about the humidifiers and running around the house like a lunatic doing lunches. So I still pack the lunches. Like I actually really enjoy that, but now it gives me more time for the things I do love. And the same thing with work. I talk to all my clients. You'll always talk to me unless you're talking to my sister, who's my processor. But then like certain things, like I have help with marketing. I have help with, like events, ordering gifts or foods or whatever, like closing experiences. Like those are all things I've helped with. So I do believe like the most successful people in the world outsource, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. I think people have this like shame that comes with it, but it's not anything to be ashamed of. You should be proud of the fact that you're acknowledging that you could get help with this and it's making your life better or more productive. We also have someone that cooks our food for us, like meal preps for us during the week. And I just feel like it's great. My kids have healthy meals prepared. Whenever I can cook, I will, but at least I could take like a breakfast box to go or whatever it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love
I agree
that.
too. I used to, the biggest stressor was who's going to make dinner every night. And then you're running home from work, and between my husband and I trying to figure out, getting the meals, driving the kids around to their activities. And it was a constant battle and a stressor. And we were like, what can we do to just take that out? And for a while we had somebody coming and doing meal prep for us, but we would still have to make the meals. So now I just have a food delivery service. We'll still cook a couple of meals, but for the most part, I get some breakfast items, some lunch items, and dinner items so that nobody in the house is stressed. The kids can just grab what they want. There's always food in the house, and they just take it and go, and same with us. So this gives us more time to actually sit down as a family and eat dinner together and talk about it. Even if it's for a couple of minutes, at least we get that time together before we move on to the next activity versus us dashing around and trying to cook. Now we can just sit and chat together, which is
it's like more intentional time. That's like, what I mean? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I like the fact that you brought up that you talk to every client, because I feel like as you're growing a business, it's hard to retain that personal feeling. And I feel like I've gotten more involved in like meeting people in person, going for coffee with someone that I can work with, and trying to talk to as many people as I can. So I feel like there's all this pressure to like grow and get bigger and get bigger and get bigger, but then you lose that like personal touch that my agency was built on, with my dad writing policies at people's kitchen tables. I'm sure Raina has the same with her dad,
Same thing.
so.
And me too. I've done it. I've gone to so many people's houses to just, help them and talk about their policies.
Yeah. No, I want to kind of touch on networking. Like I feel like 18 months ago, Taryn never did any networking. Like I didn't want to talk to people. I just wanted to like be in my office and my bubble. And Christina is actually the one that like pushed me out of my shell and was like, go talk to people. It's not that scary. Like, do you do a lot of networking, Lauren, or what does that look like for your business?
Yeah, I do a ton of networking. But you know what it is? I've like found what I like doing. I'm not going to a 6 a.m. BNI. I could just tell you it's like not for me and I don't want to do it. And I think only that comes with like age and experience where you're like, I don't have to do that. Because when I first got in the mortgage business, everyone was like, join the BNI, meet realtors, whatever. And I didn't enjoy it. And I was like, I'm not going to be successful at this unless I enjoy what I'm doing. So a lot of my networking is not with like a specific like BNI group or a group of realtors. Like it should be like, there's these things that like, I guess historically loan officers should be doing to get business. I really don't do any of those. things. I do what I enjoy doing because I feel like then my personality shines through. I'm able to create real relationships with people and not just like these surface level, like, well, I have to be here, so I'll talk to you kind of things.
Right.
So a lot of the networking I do, I actually create myself. Like we just did $1 million matcha morning where like small business owners came. I had matcha ready for everyone, you know, a matcha cart came and had matcha for everyone, and we were able to like network and meet people. We do porch parties at park where same thing, small business owners come and you get to meet people, have like some meat and cheese and a glass of wine on the porch. So I try to network, quote unquote, in a way that feels authentic to me, in a way that like I really enjoy what I'm doing, because I feel like that's the only way I'm going to get business from it, is if I'm like, wow, you are so cool, I love your business, and I'm gonna like tell me who your ideal client is. I'll make sure I can refer everyone that I can. Like when I'm making real relationships, the business flows. Like you don't need to worry about the business as long as the relationship you're making is authentic and real and like you're being yourself. And I feel like that's really important.
Yeah.
I love that. And then, you know, with the age of social media and digital and everything, you know, online marketing, I feel like in person matters so much. Are you seeing that? Are you seeing that people are craving a lot more community focused events and networking versus just seeing things on social media?
Yeah. I mean, I think too, that's why I started. I mean, I know that that's why I started Mamas and Minis, because I had no mom friends. And I was like, I don't know, like how, well, first of all, my son was born 2 months early in November. So it was cold and he was in the NICU for a long time. And I have really bad postpartum depression. And I remember saying to my husband, like, I am never going to get out of this if I don't meet other moms. Like if I don't get out of the house and like meet people face to face, like we call it belly to belly. And we call it. Yeah. So and we call it kissing babies. Like that's what my sister and I call it. Not to get off topic, but whenever I'm like, you know, need more business, or you know how it is, ebbs and flows. And whenever I'm like really on the hustle mode because I need to get more business, my sister will go to me. She'll be like, just go out and kiss babies, like, because that's what we call it. Like,
oh, that's hysterical.
Yeah, go meet people belly to belly, like really talk to people, and that's how it'll flow. So, I do think that there is just something about in person that you can't replace. And I like being in person just because I feel like it's more genuine. Like I'm able to like really, really talk to you instead of, you know, it's a little hard sometimes when you're on Zoom all the time, or even clients. I'm like, come into the office. Like if you're a local, come in.
Yeah.
You can meet space, you can meet us. I just feel like you'll get a better idea of like who you're hiring and what we are if you see us in person. But yeah, social media makes it tough, but I do. And social media is great for certain things too. Cause like I wouldn't have met like so-and-so from California if there was no social media, but for local people, I think getting together is still the way to do it.
Agreed. And in my office, we still get clients walking in, you know, coming in to talk, review their policies, get new insurance. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like too, like going out there in the community and meeting other local business owners, like you don't know how that relationship will benefit each other, but you just know, like, I want to know more people in the community that are doing whatever, because it's like I met the lady that she runs like a clothing kind of tchotchke type place, but she also teaches mahjong to women. Like she literally teaches mahjong lessons. And I'm like, I said to my mom, who's in her late 70s, I'm like, Mom, I need to hook you up with this lady because you could teach her lessons for her. Like, not that has anything to do with insurance, but it's so interesting, right? When you meet people and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. So
you never know. I was doing an event with a Love You Latte event with a local realtor, and my mom came to be with us. She's like, oh, I'll come too. And my mom knows like everybody around town. So it's great that people just come and talk to her. And so we're just chatting with people, and come to find out my mom's talking to this realtor. Our kids are in school together, my daughter and her daughter, which we found out later on.
Wow.
And my parents know her parents from like 25 years ago. And this is we just met. It's so weird. You never know how connections work. And you wouldn't get that just talking to somebody, you know, on a Zoom call or over social media, chatting with them. You have to have that in-person connection, and it can take you to all these great places.
Yeah. I love You Lattes. They're my favorite. We learned about them. Christina and I started them like probably 5 years ago, maybe more. I don't know. but I feel like they're the best use of your time. Like I just love doing them.
They're
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah. It is
And you
fun.
literally never know who will walk in the
Yeah,
door. Like
that's
we
true.
wound up meeting with like the CEO of the YMCA's around here because they walked in, we bought coffee, and they're like, "Oh, let's have a meeting together." And
Oh,
I
that's
don't know like what that will do for anybody, but it's just so cool to meet more people.
Mhm.
But so we wanted to talk about boundaries because I feel like when you mentioned we're not working 9 to 5s, right? We're working 24/7. But like, how do you put boundaries? So hard, right? How to know where to put the boundaries. Where like,
Yeah,
okay, now it's family time. I'm done. Like I'm not available to answer a text message or a
yeah.
call, right? But
I think that comes with only experience. I don't care what anybody says, but when you're first in the business, you have this, or you have to have this level of hustle and drive and like oomph more than anything else, or else you're just really not going to make it. And you
Right.
sacrifice so much. There's no boundaries. Like when you first start, I remember like I worked all day, every day. I didn't care what was going on. I was working. And over time, I realized that's, first of all, not healthy. Second of
Right.
all, nobody values your time because you're available all the time. So your time becomes like just not valued at all. And on top of that, it's not sustainable. So what I've learned over time, especially I didn't have kids, so that also changes things too. Like you have these beautiful little babies in front of you and you're like, what's more important right now, taking a phone call with a client or like doing whatever I'm doing with my kids. And depending on the time of day, it could be my kids, or it could be the client. And it took a little trial and error to see, and also acceptance of the fact, like, maybe now I won't be for everyone. Like I always tried being everything to everyone as a client. Like I always wanted to be available all the time, whatever their schedule was, I would make work. And what I realized is like, I can't do this, and I have to be okay with losing clients maybe if my schedule and my boundaries don't work for someone. And
Right.
I had to kind of figure out like who is my ideal client and work backwards a little bit. So my boundaries, I have a few. One is I will never, ever, ever, ever take a phone call during school drop off. Won't
okay.
happen. And my kids know that it won't happen. And it's actually really sweet because my phone rang the other day and my son said, "It's okay, mommy, you can pick it up. I understand it's important."
Aw.
And I said, "No, like school drop-offs are sacred, Rye. Like we don't take, phone calls on school drop-offs." And really the main reason for that is I feel like it lets my kids know like mommy, values this time with me and I'm more important than her work. And that's not how it is all day. So like the fact
Right.
that we get that time in the morning, I feel like is really special to them, and just letting them know like you're the most important thing and I'm gonna, take this call later. And like realistically, let's be real. I do mortgages. I'm not a heart surgeon. Like you could wait a half hour, like
Right.
15 minutes later.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
Right.
not, you could wait.
Yeah.
So I won't, that's a boundary I never had until I had kids. The other boundary, so it's funny because I don't have like set hours. What I will tell people is, especially because I work with a lot of families, that became really my ideal client is like people with small children. And I do want to be flexible, but family time does come first, but I don't want set hours because what if my kids are watching a TV show before bed and I actually do have 15 minutes or 20 minutes to talk to a client at 8 p.m. and that works for them and that works for me. So I am a little flexible in terms of like nighttime. But if someone calls and I am doing something at 8 p.m. and I can't answer, I have no problem being like, I have to give you a call back tomorrow. And I feel like that took a lot of time for me to be comfortable saying because I was always so afraid of losing business. But what I've learned is when you create value around what you do and people know that you really care about them and you're going to do what's right by them and you are going to educate them and hold their hand through this process, they're okay waiting. And a lot of times people will respect it. Like they'll be like, "No, I'm a mom too. Like I totally get it. We could talk whenever you're available." And it took a long time for me to even be okay saying those things, but it's important. And I feel like it's important for my relationship with my husband. Like I can't just be, at all day Saturday and Sunday answering phone calls, which I do need to answer some of them because real estate transactions happen on the weekends, but it has to be in a way that like is, like you say, harmony. Like it has to work
Yeah.
for all of us.
Yeah.
It does. And you have to be okay with if you lose people. It's happened to me, last summer I was on a beach vacation with my family. I'm sitting at the beach with my kids, hanging out, playing with them, and a referral partner calls. I couldn't get to it. I'm not going to give up my time. And I did message someone in my office and say, call this person back, which they did. But that person was then mad at me that I didn't personally handle it. But you can't do everything. And if you lose them, it happens.
Yeah. And is that the person you want to work with? Like, I have to remember that. Like, those aren't people I want to work with anyway, to be honest. Right. So it's like, you just have to be okay, like niching down a little bit.
Yeah. I like that, to say, like, I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea. Like, I am who I am. I'm not going to stop being who I am. I mean, when I started posting more consistently on social media, at first I was like, do I want to say anything about God? Because my faith is like a huge part of who I am. And then I thought, you know what? Like, if someone stops following me or decides that they don't want to do business with me because I'm like, my faith is very important to me, then they're not for me and I don't want to do business with them either. So I just said, you know what? This is who I am and I don't care. So
that's true. I love that. And it works the other way too. Like, because you brought up your faith, then you'll have certain people that will love you even more because now they know. So I just feel like it works both.
Yeah. I think just being authentic, right? Showing up and being like, this is who I am. And hopefully then people will want to do business with you because they feel like they know you more. Like, you're so much more than someone who does loans and mortgages, right? You're a mom. And
and I feel like it has to be sustainable. Like, you can't build a really successful career if every day you go to work and you're like, I hate that. Like, I just don't like this. I can't hate this. I can't be myself. Like, I don't like, there's so many men loan officers. Like, we're like a really few women in the industry.
Wow. Okay.
And on top of that, the women in the industry tend to be like very put together, very dressed, very like just like glamorous, like Gucci bags and like the whole thing. And I was like that too in the beginning of my career. And then I realized, like, that's really not me. Like, I don't want to be like this. So now I'm just like your mom. I'm the mortgage mama. And I am. And I have more business now than I ever did before. So I feel like it just goes to show people you could really be who you want to be or be yourself, and it won't hurt your business as much as you think it will.
Yeah.
And I think even with with price too, you want to be as authentic and real as you can. These are my services. This is what I offer. This is the value I bring, and people recognize that.
Yeah.
So I know we're kind of getting to the end, but like, we want to hear about your space, the park.
Park.
I mean, I'm so intrigued.
I'm dying to hear about it.
Yes, Raina and I are like, oh my God, this needs to be us. Like, we literally need to do whatever Lauren's doing. We need to do that in like central New Jersey. Yeah.
So the place on Park was built literally because, to be honest, we were looking and searching for places to have things all the time. And I was so sick of seeing like the typical like a VFW hall or catering hall, or there was just nothing that was accessible, affordable, and beautiful. Like, those things didn't exist. And my sister and I, I do love my office in Uniondale, and we did love being there. My sister and I live out here in further eastern Suffolk. And it was a long commute. It's like an hour there, an hour back. Now I had kids. My sister one day is going to have kids. And it's like, do you really want to spend 2 hours of your day driving to an office? Like, that seems like a waste. So we wanted something more local. And then we were like, how do we incorporate like the two together, right? Like, because they don't really go together, but how can we make it like more of a community space, especially because I host a million events. Like, you'll see, we have something all the time, whether it's like, $1 Million Matcha Mornings or a Mamas and Minis meetup. We just did an event for Mother's Day where we did a paint photo shoot, and then the kids did their little footprints on canvas, and then we framed it. Like, we are always doing things, especially for Mamas and Minis. We do like huge vendor markets and just all these things. And we didn't have anywhere to do these things. And I really wanted a place where people could come and really do the things that they want to do too. Like, all these like small business owners that can't afford all these crazy places to rent. So that's really how the place on Park was born, just by sheer necessity. And then we found a really unique property in Bayshore that is a commercial historical home. And it was disgusting. So we had to gut it and redo it, but it's really unique. It's a beautiful home. It has like a wraparound porch. It has a big barn in the backyard, a huge parking lot, and outdoor space. So we're really able to do so many unique things. It's like a very unique space. And then we're in the heart of Bayshore, which is great because it's like a village. So there's just so much community around us. We've paired up with like local restaurants, and we do so many things. Mom's nights out, we do home buying seminars, and it's just really versatile, and people are able to rent it for whatever they want. It has become like really big for birthday parties, like kids' birthday parties. I would say most of our stuff is kids' birthday parties. And then a lot of like small businesses utilize the space as well.
I love it.
Cool. That's
Yeah,
so
I
awesome.
love it. Taryn, that's our next project.
I know. I'm like, oh my goodness. I don't know. And you have littles, like I don't even know, but it's such a cool concept. And I think that just the idea of bringing community together, bringing people together, because that's ultimately like what keeps us sane sometimes. I feel like if I'm going through something and I don't share it with somebody, like if I do, either someone will feel like they'll be there for me, or they're like, oh, hey, I'm going through something similar, and you feel like you can get some help there. So
yeah, and we try to keep it as affordable as possible. So if you want to hold like a postpartum group, or you want whatever like is on your heart and you want to do, you're able to afford to do it, even if it's like your first time doing it, because we don't try to like outprice people.
Right.
I'm not trying to get rich on the space, that's for sure.
Yeah, you're just trying to make it available.
Yeah,
and
we just need to keep it and pay the mortgage. That's really all we're looking to do. But we want people to be able to use it and love it, and be able to connect those connections.
Yeah, of course.
I love it.
All right,
so we're going to wrap up with our signature question.
Yeah.
So what does hustle meets harmony mean to you?
Hustle meets harmony. So I think that to me, hustle meets harmony means that you as a business owner or an entrepreneur or whatever it is, need to hustle as much as you can while still maintaining harmony, whether it's in your relationships, in your life. I think that's like, when I hear it, that's what it means most to me, is like hustle is here, but where does it bring you on the harmony level? Like, are you working in a way that's also fostering good relationships or happiness or health, or here's like the work and here's the happiness, and like, I don't know, to me that's what it like gives me right away.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It was fantastic speaking with you. We were really like waiting to talk to you, so I'm glad that it worked out. And thank you so much for coming on our podcast.
I know. And then for like our listeners, how can they follow along with all the things that you're doing?
Yeah. So we have I would say 2 core Instagrams. So it's at _mortgage_mama. And our at the Place on Park is the Place on Park Instagram. And then of course I do have at Mamas and Minis Long Island for Mamas and Minis events. But that's pretty much where I am all the time, is Instagram.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. I was so excited to hear from you and just learn all about it. And
Awesome. Have a beautiful day.
All right. Yeah, you too.
Thanks for tuning in to Hustle Meets Harmony. We hope you found something real, relatable, and maybe even a little inspiring. Don't forget to follow the show and connect with us on social for more conversations. Until next time, keep chasing your dreams and finding your harmony.